Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Think in English podcast. I'm Anna, and today we're talking about something that affects almost everyone, social media, how it changes the way we live, think, and communicate. My guest today is Sophie, who has worked for years in digital marketing and now helps people use technology in a healthy way. Hi, Sophie. Great to have you here.
Hi, Anna. Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to join this conversation. It's such an important topic because, honestly, social media has become a big part of our lives.
Yes, and it's interesting how fast that happened. 15 years ago, most people didn't even have Facebook or Instagram. Now it feels almost impossible to live without them.
Exactly. We wake up and check our phones before we even get out of bed. It's the first thing we do and the last thing we see before going to sleep.
Right, and it's not only about staying in touch with friends anymore. People use social media to learn, work, shop, find entertainment, basically everything.
True, and that's why it's such a double-edged sword. On one hand, it connects us. On the other, it controls our attention. I often call it the attention economy. Everyone wants a piece of your time.
That's a great term, the attention economy. I think that's exactly what's happening. We're not paying with money, we're paying with time and focus.
Yes, and focus is the new currency. The more attention you give to a platform, the more data they collect and the more ads they show you.
So basically, social media turns our behavior into a product.
That's right. Every click, like, and comment is analyzed. But I don't think social media is evil. It's just powerful. And like any powerful tool, we need to use it carefully.
I agree. For me, social media is a tool for learning and connection, but sometimes I notice that I waste time scrolling without any real purpose.
Same here. It's designed that way. The endless scroll, the notifications, they keep your brain expecting something new. It's like a slot machine.
Exactly, and that dopamine rush makes it so hard to stop. You think, I'll just check one more post, and suddenly half an hour is gone.
Yes, that's why it's important to set boundaries. For example, I turn off most notifications and check my apps only at specific times of the day.
That's a smart idea. I've also started doing digital detox weekends. No social media, no emails, just real life.
I love that. It helps you reset your brain and realize how much time you are losing online. You start to feel calmer, more focused, and present.
Exactly. I noticed that my concentration improved, and I started enjoying small things again, like reading a book without checking my phone every few minutes.
That's beautiful. I think many people don't realize how much social media affects their mental health, anxiety, stress, even loneliness.
Yes, it's ironic. We have hundreds of friends online, but sometimes we feel more disconnected than ever.
That's because online connection isn't always emotional connection. You can get likes, but not real support.
That's true. Real connection comes from listening, talking, being present, and that can't be replaced by emojis or hearts.
Exactly. Social media gives the illusion of closeness, but it's often superficial. Still, if used consciously, it can also bring people together in meaningful ways.
Yes, I've met some wonderful people online. Learners, teachers, friends. It depends on how you use it.
Totally. The key word is intentional. Use it on purpose, not out of habit.
That's a great way to put it. Use it on purpose, not out of habit. I think that's something we all need to remember.
You know what I also find interesting is how social media changes the way we present ourselves. Everyone has an online version of themselves, kind of like a highlight reel.
Yes, absolutely.
People show their best moments, vacations, success, perfect meals, and forget that real life includes bad days too. Exactly. And then others start comparing themselves to that perfection, even if it's not real. It creates pressure, especially for young people.
I see it too. Teenagers measure their value by the number of likes or followers. It's sad because likes don't equal self-worth.
Totally. I've worked with many young clients who feel anxious if their posts don't get enough attention. It becomes emotional dependence.
Yes, I think adults experience it too, just in a more subtle way. Sometimes you post something, check back 10 times, and feel disappointed if no one reacts.
That's true. It's like our self-esteem gets linked to our social media engagement, and that's dangerous because it takes the power away from us and gives it to the algorithm.
Exactly. And the algorithm doesn't care about your feelings, it just wants you to stay online longer.
Yes, that's why people need to understand how algorithms work. They show you what keeps you scrolling, not necessarily what's true or healthy.
I've noticed that when I click on one topic, for example, travel videos, suddenly my feed is full of them. It feels like social media is reading my mind.
Yes, that's the algorithm learning from your behavior. It's called personalization. But it can become a filter bubble. You only see what you already agree with.
Right, so your world gets smaller instead of bigger. You stop hearing other opinions.
Exactly. It's called the echo chamber effect. You hear the same voices, the same beliefs over and over. That's why social media can also polarize society.
That's really interesting. It means social media doesn't just reflect our world, it shapes it.
Yes, it influences politics, culture, and even how we think. That's why digital literacy is so important today, knowing how to separate facts from manipulation.
I completely agree. We should teach that in schools. Kids learn math and history, but not how to use the internet wisely.
Exactly. Knowing how to think critically online should be as important as reading or writing.
That's so true. And you know, even adults struggle with fake news. People share things without checking if they're real.
Yes, because information spreads faster than verification. One emotional post can go viral in minutes, even if it's not true.
That's scary. Sometimes it feels like truth doesn't matter anymore, only engagement.
Exactly. That's the problem. Algorithms reward attention, not accuracy.
So, in a way, we all have a responsibility as users to think before we share.
Yes, I always say stop, think, then post. It's simple, but effective.
I like that. It's also about self-awareness. When I feel emotional, angry, sad, excited, I try not to post right away.
That's a great habit. Taking a few minutes to reflect can prevent regret later.
Right. Sometimes people ruin relationships or careers with one impulsive post.
Yes, it happens a lot. Once something is online, it's almost impossible to delete completely.
That's another scary thing. The internet never forgets. Even deleted posts can be saved or screenshotted.
Exactly. That's why I tell people, before you post, imagine your words on a billboard in your city. If you wouldn't want that, maybe don't post it.
That's brilliant advice. I think social media would be a much better place if everyone followed that rule.
Yes, it's all about digital responsibility, using social media consciously, not emotionally.
I like that word, consciously. It really sums up everything we're saying.
Totally. Being conscious means you're in control. You choose what to see, when to scroll, and what to share.
Yes, and that brings peace of mind. I noticed since I started limiting my screen time, I feel more grounded.
Same here. I set daily limits on some apps, and when I reach the time, I get a reminder to take a break. It actually helps.
That's great. I think those small steps like time limits, turning off notifications, or leaving the phone in another room can really make a difference.
Absolutely. It's not about quitting social media completely, but about using it intentionally.
Exactly, because social media isn't the enemy, it's how we use it that matters.
Yes, like with food. Eating isn't bad, but eating too much or the wrong kind can harm you. Same with content.
That's a perfect analogy.
Maybe we need a digital diet. Yes, a balanced diet, a little news, some inspiration, a bit of learning, and time to rest.
That sounds perfect. Maybe we should start a trend. Hashtag digital balance challenge.
I'd join that.
You know, Sophie, it's funny how we talk about digital balance like it's something new, but in reality, it's just common sense, moderation and everything.
Exactly. Balance has always been important. The problem is that social media is designed to make us forget moderation. It's always there, always asking for attention.
Yes, it's like having a friend who never stops talking.
True. And you don't even realize how much time you spend with that friend. Sometimes people scroll for hours and later say, "Where did my evening go?"
I've been there too. You just want to check one notification and suddenly you're watching videos about cooking or travel for 40 minutes.
Yes, and it's not even our fault. That's how the platforms are built. Endless scroll, autoplay, bright colors, they all play with our psychology.
Right. It's not just about willpower, it's about design. That's why awareness is so important.
Exactly. When you understand how the system works, you can protect your attention. You start using social media instead of letting it use you.
That's a very strong point, and I think people need to hear that because so many of us blame ourselves for being addicted when, in fact, we've been trained to be.
Yes, it's not addiction by choice, it's addiction by design. But once you realize that, you can change it. You can start to make conscious choices again.
So, what's one thing you'd recommend to someone who wants to regain control over their digital life?
The first step is to become aware. Ask yourself, why am I opening this app? What am I looking for? If you don't have a clear answer, maybe it's just boredom.
That's such a good question. Why am I opening this app? I think I'll start asking myself that.
It really helps. And then try replacing some screen time with something physical. Go for a walk, read a few pages, talk to a friend in real life.
Yes, real conversations feel so refreshing after hours online.
Exactly. When you connect face to face, you remember what communication really means. It's not just words, it's presence, tone, emotions.
Right. I think that's what people miss most, emotional connection. You can't feel that through a comment or emoji.
True. Emojis are cute, but they don't replace eye contact.
That's true. You can't see someone smile or feel their energy through a screen.
Exactly. That's why offline time is so healing. It brings you back to real human rhythm.
Yes, and I think that made us realize how much we need real connection.
Definitely. Online communication helped us survive that time, but it also showed its limits. We need both, the digital and the physical world.
So the goal is not to escape social media, but to integrate it wisely into our lives.
Perfectly said. Use it to learn, to inspire, to connect, but never to escape reality.
That's such a good way to put it. Don't escape reality, improve it.
Yes, I like that. Maybe that should be the motto of our generation.
Or at least the motto of this episode.
Yes, but seriously, if people could take one message from this talk, I'd say be present both online and offline.
That's beautiful. And it reminds me that awareness is like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes.
Exactly. And the best part? Once you become aware, social media becomes fun again. You enjoy it without being trapped by it.
That's a great insight. So it's not about quitting, it's about enjoying responsibly.
Yes, like coffee. 1 cup energizes you, 10 cups make you anxious.
That's a perfect example. Moderation again.
Exactly. A balanced life. That's the goal. Online and offline harmony.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Sophie, for this thoughtful and honest conversation. I think everyone listening will find something to reflect on.
Thank you, Anna. It was such a pleasure. I love how this podcast mixes real conversation with language learning. It's a beautiful way to grow.
Thank you. That's exactly the goal, to help people learn English naturally while thinking about real life.
And today's topic definitely matters to everyone.
Yes, I think so too. So, to everyone listening, remember to stay connected, but not controlled. Scroll less, talk more, and of course,
Keep thinking in English.
exactly. See you next time.
Kliknij w jeden z polecanych filmów, aby kontynuować naukę. Dziękuję za obejrzenie całego materiału i wspólnie spędzony czas. Jeśli lekcja okazała się przydatna, zostaw subskrypcję, łapkę w górę i napisz swoją opinię w komentarzu. To pomaga rozwijać kanał i tworzyć kolejne treści. Do zobaczenia w kolejnym odcinku.